Welcome back to Uncommon Voyagers, guys. This week we're exploring a beautiful little town I stumbled across, and honestly, I feel like I discovered it all by myself. It's called Oricola, and it might just be one of Abruzzo's best kept secrets. Now, I hope I'm saying it right, Oricola, with my Aussie accent. I'm always getting these names a bit wrong. But either way, I am a little bit obsessed. This town is seriously cute. I know some people don't like me saying cute, but look, I like it. It's how I like to describe it. It's cute, it's tiny, it's medieval, and it's tucked into the northern edge of Abruzzo, right on the border with Lazio. So Oricola has just over 1,200 residents, I believe, or it's between 1,000 and 1,200, which makes it the perfect size. Probably one of the bigger, smaller villages that I've looked at, but it's not too big, not too small. It still has that peaceful, authentic feel that we all dream about when we picture life in an Italian village. But what makes it extra special, though, is its location. So you're definitely still in Abruzzo. It's still surrounded by national parks, medieval towns, some of Italy's most unspoiled countryside. But here's the twist. Unlike a lot of the towns we've shown you around like Sulmona, Pescara or Chieti, Auricola is much more centrally located. When I say centrally located, to me it's a little bit smack bang in the middle, which is awesome. So what that actually means though is that you're just under an hour from Rome. Yep, from a tiny medieval village to one of the world's greatest cities in about an hour. So if being close to Rome is on your wish list, Auricola absolutely ticks that box while keeping you still rooted in the charm of Abruzzo. Now let's talk about the property. I think I found a real little gem, and when I say little, I mean tiny, but it's absolutely adorable. And for under 10,000 euros, you can get your very own piece of history right in the heart of Auricola's historic centre. So I'll pop a list to the actual listing link that I found on Idealista. I'll drop it in the description below so you can check it out for yourself. But in terms of size, I don't want anyone to fall out of their chairs when they see it, but here we go. As you can see, this is the exterior. I wasn't able to get anything from Street View or anything. Like I usually go for a bit of a hunt to see if I can get a bit closer or get more of a broader outside view. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that with this one. I believe it's probably because it's down one of their little vicus, I believe they're called. So I could see if you go to Street View, you'll be able to kind of see the numbers on either side of 12, but you're actually unable to see the actual front of this place. So it would be tucked away, not straight onto the street, I imagine, just because I couldn't see it on Street View. Now, you walk straight in the entry into this kitchen. It's also the living room. It's also the dining room. So again, I don't want anyone to think that I wasn't being completely truthful when I said this place is tiny. So really what you'd be looking at with this place is, it'd have to be just you or a partner. You wouldn't be bringing your big family into this place with this at this size. But could it fit all of the needs that you need that you require? If all you're wanting to do is lay your head somewhere and explore most of the time. Or if you want really, really low maintenance. So if you're looking for really low maintenance and also super economical way to renovate, you wouldn't have a lot of space that you have to kind of spend that money on. So we've got the kitchen, which goes directly into the bedroom, which we've got a picture of there. Now, the bedroom looks like a good size. I mean, it's difficult to tell from a picture, but if it's not a double bed, it's a queen bed. But either way, it's not a single. I've seen some of these places that have single beds in there that they try and kind of, pass off as a main bedroom. This is definitely main bedroom vibe. If it's a queen bed, then you've got a little bit of space to play with there. So at least it's not, completely minuscule. You've got that tiny bit of front room, but at least you might be able to spread out a little bit or find some sort of way to turn the bedroom into a little bit of a sitting area as well. You can see there's that huge old wardrobe there and also a big chest of drawers. So you never know. You might be able to get imaginative with this one. And next cab off the rank is obviously the bathroom. Now you can kind of tell by the pictures that they do have a shower mounted to the wall. So this is definitely wet room vibes. Look, if I can't really tell, but if there is a B-day there and that's not a priority for you, you could definitely kind of claw a little bit more space back with that if you're able to remove that. But look, it's just really about just rejigging things a little bit. And I think with the amount of space that you have, it's fantastic to have an option to, have a little play around. Now, in terms of the property details, just your technical kind of stuff, it is only 28 meters square. It has 2 rooms, well, and a bathroom. It's in secondhand good condition according to the listing. Its orientation is southeast. Now, there is no heating, but goodness gracious, it's not that big, which means that you wouldn't be looking at heating too much anyway. And the other thing that's such a big, I think, important aspect to some of the places that we're looking at is future proofing, and it's on the ground floor. So, a lot of the other places that I've shown you guys have had a number of stairs or some stairs, which hasn't been appealing to people. If you want something that you can literally walk in and out of without going up or down a stair, lock up and leave, and just come back to use as a kind of landing pad, I don't think you can go past this place. It's just, in terms of the size and where it is, it's amazing. Now, I have popped a couple of maps here just to kind of give you an idea visually about where it sits. So, Carsley is the closest kind of bigger city to Auricola, which means that some of the things that you wouldn't necessarily get in Auricola, you could definitely get in Carsley. Now, I also wanted to show you visually what it looks like going from Auricola to Rome, and as you can see, again, it's an hour's car ride. The public transport, which we'll talk about a little later on, is not perfect. So you would be, when I'm giving you these times, it is via car. So a couple of extra maps there, guys, just to the bigger, I said city before when I was talking about Carsley, and it's not really a city, it's more of a town. And I just thought I'd pop these into just to show you. Sulmona seems to be the kind of most well-known bigger town in Abruzzo that everyone talks about, especially in circles with with a home in Italy and that sort of thing. So I just thought I'd pop that there just as an example, visual example, as I mentioned. So, you'll be able to ascertain then what's really important to you. Auricola isn't just about the cobbled streets, guys. It's surrounded by amazing nature. First up is the Piana de Cavalieri. I probably said that completely wrong, but think wild open fields, rolling hills and epic sunsets. Perfect for a walk, bike ride, or just pretending you're in a movie scene. There's the ancient side of Carsioli. It was once a Roman town. Now it's a place where old stones, mosaics and ruins are scattered. History and nature kind of blending together. It's like time travel, I guess, with better views. And then we've got the Bosco di Cesera, a huge forest right next door. So you've got chestnuts, oaks, beech trees. If you're lucky, you might spot some frogs and rare birds, maybe even a wolf. Hopefully they're a bit shy because I'm a bit scared of that. We've also got cute streets just packed with history. So there's the Castello di Auricola, built in the Middle Ages to fight off invaders. So today it's the village's crown jewel, essentially, with epic views. You can check out a few different medieval churches, and again, I've popped in Rome just because it's an hour from Rome. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So when we talk about electricity, the good news is, yes, it's like any other small town. I think we think that we're still kind of ploughing fields with horses and there's no electricity or anything that you need. It's there. Phone service is there, internet is there. Now, there isn't direct emergency services, but again, that's in Carsley. But you do have banking. It's straightforward with some local branches and ATMs. Just like the rest of Italy, a lot of people are switching to internet banking, so it's not even that big of a deal anyway. So while it looks like a medieval village, it offers everything you need to live comfortably for the modern utilities. So again, if you don't have it in Auricola directly, Carsley is your next best option, and it's just a short ride kind of down the road. Now, food and shopping. There isn't a huge supermarket. Again, you'd be looking at Carsley, and same thing with kind of the home supply stores and things like that. You'd even be going so far as to going to Avezzano. I'm probably saying that wrong as well, but you've got some gorgeous little restaurants, some bakeries, all of the things that you just need to get by in a really comfortable way. I don't want getting by to sound like that's a bad thing. It's just that you don't have, huge supermarkets or anything. Now, there isn't a weekly market. I love myself a weekly market, but the good news is, again, Castle is the place to go. Now, a lot of you might be saying, why don't we just live in Castle? Well, there's options there as well, but today I'm talking about Auricola, and I feel like, it's small and quaint, but it's got just what you need, and you're nice and close to everything else. Now, transport options are the important ones. So although it is tucked away, it's surprisingly well connected. So, it's a walkable town first of all, but we've got the Auricola Perito Railway stop. So it's about 2k from the town centre. So it is a little bit outside of Auricola itself, but it lies on the Rome-Pescara regional line. There's about 12 trains a day connecting you to Avezzano, Rome, Termini, and Tiburtina. So I would say rail travel is probably your best option if you don't have a car. Now, there are local bus services. Bus services were quite difficult to look up. Sometimes it's really straightforward, sometimes it isn't. So, I think you'd be looking at traveling by car or traveling by train. But obviously, when you're there, you can check out the bus situation. Now, we've kind of got Rome and Pescara equidistant in terms of airports. I guess for a Pescara's point of view, you're going to obviously you're more limited to where you're going. Rome, you could fly anywhere in the world. So, but it is about halfway between the two. Now, healthcare. Look, there's not a lot. There's a local pharmacy in town for like everyday everyday needs. For bigger stuff, you've got Doctors and Allied Health in Carsally, so that's only a few minutes away. If you need a hospital, the closest is Avezzano, and that's about 30 minutes. Plus, you've got some larger facilities in the bigger towns, and again, you're only an hour away from Rome. So if you wanted to see a specialist or anything like that, you'd probably just head off to Rome or to L'Aquila. So, education. Now, there is a primary school by primary school, you're looking at, I think, ages 6 to 11, which I've popped on the screen anyway. But you can go to Castle for high school and what I guess Americans would call middle school. We don't really have middle school in Australia. It's usually primary school or high school. But yeah, from you've got options regardless. Nothing's too far away. And if you wanted to go to specialist high schools like TAFEs or bigger arts and language schools and whatnot, you're looking at about 30 minutes by car. Now, the price, guys, can you believe this? €9,500. You always have to tack on the fees and taxes, so I always say whack another 20 to 30% on just to be safe. Sometimes it might be less, sometimes it might be more, but if you kind of, go around the 20 to 30% mark, maybe just meet in the middle and do 25%, you'll be fine. So €9,500, that comes in at about 17,000 Australian and then about 11,000 US dollars. So if you think about that price and the space, you really could get in, you could get into the market so cheaply in Auricola in this particular little space. So if you want a big space, obviously it's not going to be for you, but if you want something that's super easy, it's going to be nice and cheap and cheerful to make it look pretty, to pop in a cute little new kitchen and do up your bathroom, I mean, to me, this would be a no-brainer. This well and truly fits within our budget. You may have a huge budget. We don't, so I love it. I'm in love with this week's offering. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it and you want to see more, send me an email, pop some comments in, comments, share, subscribe. We love it all. The more people that, obviously do that, the more I know you like it. And if there's a town that you want me to look at in particular, I love researching the towns. So just shoot me a line. Let me know. If I'm wrong about anything, let me know. And otherwise, take care. I hope you've enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next video.